Okay, students, today we will continue with the animal hormones chapter, right? Specifically, now we have discussed about the hormones released by pituitary gland. Now, there are some other adrenal glands present in our body also, like thyroid gland, like pancreas, like adrenal glands. Clear? So, what are the hormones released by them and how do they affect our body? Now here, if I ask you in this class, I will discuss because the exams are near, exam based questions if I ask you. Now if I ask you what is Cushing syndrome, if I ask you what is the difference between simple goiter and exophthalmic goiter, इन दोनों में अंतर क्या है, এই দুটোর মধ্যে ডিফারেন্স কি, সিম্পল গয়টার এক্সophthalmic goiter, ক্রেটিনিজম কি, মিক্সেডিমা কি? So these answers you will find is today what I will teach you, right? So first we will quickly discuss about a very important endocrine gland which is called the thyroid gland. Thyroid gland. ये जो हमारा नेक है, here it is a butterfly shaped gland present in this neck region, right? This is thyroid gland. This is thyroid gland present in neck region. ये बोलने से ही चलेगा, ये बोलने ही होगा. Clear? Now this thyroid gland releases 3 hormones basically, but we will discuss about the major hormone that is called, which is in your syllabus, thyroxine. Major hormone thyroxine. उसके बाद है थायरॉक्सिन के बाद ट्राईआयोडोथायरोनिन, कैल्सिटोनिन, ये भी हार्मोन्स है जो थायराइड ग्लैंड से रिलीज होता है. These hormones are also released by thyroid gland, but most important hormone which is released by thyroid gland is thyroxine. Now we will discuss this thyroxine hormone. What happens? What are the functions of this thyroxine hormone? Thyroxine hormone helps to control overall metabolism of our body. Right, metabolism is a process where food is broken down to give energy, that is called respiration. But this energy producing reactions in our body is called metabolism. Clear? Metabolism in our body is related to energy, the energy which is released. Right? So so automatically, if thyroxine hormone is related to metabolism, then it is related to the overall functionings of main functionings of our body, like functioning of our heart, like respiration, like breathing, like digestion. Everything is related to, like the water balance, mineral balance, everything is more or less related to this thyroxine hormone. Now we will discuss. So thyroxine is related to metabolism of our body. Now my main question, जब ये thyroxine hormone, when this thyroxine hormone is secreted in large amount from the thyroid gland, right? What happens then? When this thyroxine hormone is secreted in less amount from thyroid gland, then what happens? Clear? So 2 conditions we will discuss. Now another thing which I have discussed the last class, this thyroid gland will release thyroxine hormone and other hormones. When? Only when pituitary gland will release TSH hormone, and that TSH hormone will come to thyroid gland and activate it. So the last class also I told, brain, pituitary gland releases TSH hormone, which I have already discussed, thyroid stimulating hormone. Now here is thyroid gland, TSH hormone activates thyroid, and then thyroid releases thyroxine, triiodothyronine, calcitonin, etc. Clear? So this is one aspect. Now what the final one about thyroid gland? thyroid gland. Hypersecretion, which means more secretion of thyroxine when thyroxine hormone is released in more or excess amount from the thyroid gland. What problem it causes? It creates a problem, a disease called Graves' disease, leads to Graves' disease, or there is another name of Graves' disease, এর আরেকটা নাম আছে exophthalmic goiter. ঠিক আছে, বোঝা যাচ্ছে? Are you getting my point? What happens in exophthalmic goiter? Our neck becomes swollen, anxiety, tiredness, fatigueness, right? These are the problems related, lack of intelligence, these are the problems related to exophthalmic goiter. It is also called Graves' disease because a biologist Grave first identified this disease. Clear? Graves' disease or exophthalmic goiter. This is about when hypersecretion of thyroxine. Now what about when hyposecretion of thyroxine? What about hyposecretion of thyroxine? Hypo or less secretion of thyroxine. This leads to three types of problems. One is simple goiter, second is cretinism, mainly in children, and third disease is myxoedema, mainly in adults. So these three diseases are caused due to less secretion of thyroxine. Now here I would add one point. এখানে একটা জিনিস add করব, एक बात डिस्कस करेंगे. Thyroxine बनाने में there is an important role of iodine. Iodine helps in the development of thyroid gland and helps the thyroid gland to release thyroxine. So if we eat such food like salt, which has much iodine, so it will help in the development of thyroid gland and release of thyroxine. But if we have iodine deficiency in our diet, that is we are not eating much salt, then what will happen? Then the thyroid gland will not be able to produce thyroxine. That also you will have to understand. More iodine helps to secrete thyroxine. Less iodine in diet leads to lack of thyroxine release. Clear? So more salt, more thyroxine. Less salt, less thyroxine. So simple goiter. So simple goiter is caused due to hyposecretion of thyroid. That is hyposecretion when thyroxine is secreted in less amount. And exophthalmic goiter is released due to hyperthyroidism when more thyroxine released. Okay, simple goiter, less thyroxine. Simple goiter में क्या होता है? Tension होता है, anxiety, right? All these problems, lack of intelligence, all these things happen. Simple goiter, throat suppression, right? Food habits increase, pressure fluctuates, heartbeat fluctuate, heart rate increases, right? These are the problems related to simple goiter. Weight gain हो जाता है, ठीक है? Clear? Cretinism is also caused due to less secretion of thyroxine, but it is mainly caused in children. Tension, hunger, thirst, these things happen. Lack of intelligence, right? Stout appearance, right? Myxoedema in adults also due to less thyroxine release. Myxoedema, lack of intelligence in the patient takes place. Clear? So these are the things. So I hope you have understood about simple goiter versus exophthalmic goiter. Clear? Okay. So this is all about thyroid gland. Now another gland called adrenal gland. Another endocrine gland is adrenal gland. Present, I have already discussed, each on top of kidney. So if this is our kidneys, a pair of kidneys, these two are adrenal glands. Again one thing, this adrenal gland is also stimulated by pituitary. Here there is pituitary in brain. It releases a hormone called ACTH hormone, adrenocorticotropic hormone, which I have discussed. This ACTH hormone activates adrenal gland, and then adrenal gland releases its own hormones. Now what are the hormones released by adrenal glands? So I hope this is clear to you. What are the hormones released by adrenal glands? So adrenal gland has two parts, an outer portion called adrenal gland, outer part called cortex, and inner part called medulla. The outer part, cortex, releases three hormones mainly: glucocorticoids or cortisol. Number two, mineralocorticoids or aldosterone. 6 steroid hormones, which are also called androgens. Okay, so these three hormones are released by adrenal cortex. So glucocorticoids, जिसका दूसरा नाम है cortisol, which is also called cortisol hormone. The name itself suggests that glucocorticoids control the metabolism or the level of glucose in our body. Clear? Next is mineralocorticoids, whose another name is aldosterone. Mineralocorticoid, the name itself suggests that it helps to control the amount of minerals, sodium, potassium, these minerals in our body. Clear? And sex steroid hormone, androgens, in male and female, it controls the development of sex organs, release of sex hormones, right? Okay. Now, at the start of this class, I told you Addison's disease, Cushing syndrome, I was discussing. So, cortisol or glucocorticoids, where it is released in more amount, hypersecretion of cortisol leads to Cushing syndrome, and hyposecretion of cortisol leads to Addison's disease. Clear? Hypersecretion of cortisol leads to Cushing syndrome. Fever, tension, anxiety, heartbeat increases, respiratory rate increases, right? And hyposecretion leads to Addison's disease. Thirst, hunger, tension, fever, more or less same. Okay, some basic patterns are same. So you will have to understand. You will have to remember these things. Okay, so here I am writing cortisol hypersecretion, Cushing syndrome, and cortisol hyposecretion, Addison's disease. I hope it is clear to you. The hormones released from adrenal cortex, and now finally the hormones released from adrenal medulla. Very important, adrenaline hormone. Mainly this hormone is the adrenaline. Another name is adrenaline or epinephrine, and another hormone is released, noradrenaline, which is also called norepinephrine. So adrenaline or epinephrine, this is the main hormone. This is called fight or flight hormone. Very important. Which is our fight or flight hormone? This hormone is the hormone which is released when we are in stressed condition, when we are in fear, when we are in anxiety. This hormone is released. It is also called fight or flight hormone because this hormone helps us to adjust to the stress conditions by improving blood flow to our brain and muscles, right? Okay, increasing heart rate. Clear? So this is also called stress hormone because finally this hormone helps us to deal with stress situations. Clear? Okay. Thank you everyone.